Picture God in your mind. What do you see? You might see a bearded man on a throne. You may even see some sort of mighty spirit, or maybe an amazing nebula floating in space. It doesn't matter what you can come up with in your imagination. It is wrong. It is not God. If you are a Christian, you might see Jesus, but we cannot accurately know what Jesus looked like 2,000 years ago, and so God cannot be seen or even imagined on earth. But in heaven it may be different. Often we approach the concept of God as a riddle to be unraveled, a puzzle to be pieced together. We seek to define, to categorize, to put into words something that is inherently beyond our mortal understanding. We attempt to solve the mystery of God, to pin him down under the microscope of our reason, to dissect him with the scalpel of our logic. But have you ever tried to see your own eyes? Not their reflection in a mirror, not their image in a photograph, but your own eyes themselves. You cannot see your own eyes because they are that with which you see. Your eyes are the instrument, the vehicle, the means by which you perceive the world around you. They are the seer, not the seen. So it is with God. God is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be experienced. God is not an object to be observed, but the light by which we observe. He is not a question to be answered, but the silence in which the answer unfolds. He is not a destination to be reached, but the journey itself. We cannot solve the problem of God any more than we can see our own eyes. We cannot know God as long as we seek to solve him. For God is not the seen but the seer. He is not the object but the observer. He is not the known but the knower. Just as you cannot see your own eyes, you cannot solve the problem of God. For God is the light by which we see everything else. If God is the light by which we see, this must mean that we see everything in him. This concept invites us to delve deeper into the profound mystery of the divine light. God in this context is not a clearly defined object to be seen. Instead, he is the medium, the light through which all else is seen. Consider, if you will, the analogy of quantum physics. In this realm, light is both a particle and a wave. It exists in a state of superposition, embodying both states simultaneously until observed. When observed, it collapses into one state or the other. Now imagine God as this light, existing in a superposition of both the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. When we attempt to observe God, to define him, we attempt to collapse the superposition. But God is not a particle to be pinpointed, nor a wave to be measured. He is the light itself, the very act of observation. He is the means by which we perceive the universe around us. Everything we perceive, every particle, every wave, every mountain, every river, every star in the cosmos, we see in God's light. The divine light illuminates the world around us, reveals the beauty of creation, and brings clarity to the vast expanse of the universe. Yet, in a paradoxical twist, this divine light does not illuminate God himself. Like trying to see your own eyes, we cannot see the light by which we see. On earth, amidst the grandeur of creation, amidst the particles and waves, the mountains and rivers, the stars and galaxies, God remains unseen. He is the seer and the seeing, the observer and the observed, the known and the unknown. He is the divine light, the quantum superposition, the profound mystery at the heart of existence. But remember, my friends, this is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. Everything we see in him. And yet on earth, he remains unseen. In heaven, however, God is seen. In his holy realm, he takes on a trinity of roles: the seer, the seeing, and the seen. Imagine, if you will, a realm where the very essence of perception is embodied by a single entity. This is heaven, where God transcends the bounds of earthly comprehension and becomes not just the observer, but the observation and the observed. In our mortal lives, we see things through the lens of our own eyes, the world around us illuminated by the light of understanding. But in heaven, this dynamic shifts. God becomes the light, the lens, and the landscape. He is the seer, the seeing, and the seen. Now, let's delve a little deeper into this concept. Picture a quantum particle. It exists in all possible states until observed. The act of observation itself influences the outcome. This is the quantum realm, a domain of infinite possibilities and probabilities. In heaven, God is akin to this quantum particle, but with a twist. He is not just the particle, but also the observer and the act of observation. He is a divine trinity of perception, encompassing the whole spectrum of understanding, from the observer to the observed and everything in between. In our earthly existence, we see through God's light, but we do not see God himself. We see the world around us, we see each other, we see the beauty and the tragedy, but we do not see the source of our sight, the divine light by which we perceive. In heaven, however, this changes. God becomes visible, not as a clearly defined object, but as the very act of seeing, the very essence of perception. He becomes the seer, the seeing, and the seen. This is a realm beyond our earthly understanding, a domain of divine consciousness where God is not a problem to be solved, but an experience to be lived, a perception to be perceived, a sight to be seen. In heaven, God becomes not just the light by which we see, but the eyes with which we see, and the object that is seen. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. Thank you for taking the time. Please take 1 second more and subscribe and like the video.